question that I have after going to practice today is very simple. Did the offense make a move and give me a little bit of a glimmer of hope they might actually do something this season? That will be the question as you and I discuss throughout the day as LSU went through a 2-minute drill today offensively. Even though there were some false starts and some misses, Brian Kelly focusing in more than ever, locking into detail. Make a mistake, like Herman Boone, get to running. You miss a blocking assignment, you're going to run a mile. And if you fumble my football, I'm going to break a foot off in your John Brown hind parts. And then you're going to run a mile. Perfection, gentlemen, is what I try to see a coach get out of there today. But did this offense give your boy Blake Ruffino a little bit of glimmer of hope to think that they are going to take it to the next level and continue to compete down the stretch? We will talk about that. Observations and opinions are back as they are every time that we do these practice reports. What are the I'm counting in my head and I was saying it out loud. What are the 6 things that we are going to get to? 6 things today that stood out to me. I do think Barryon Brown, the receiver out of Kentucky, had a very, very big day. Can LSU and Garrett Nussmeier push the ball down the field? Can this offense continue to prove every day by the time that we get to Clemson? But football season is here, so you never know. We do have a top 10 matchup going into Clemson as well. And if you look at the odds on FanDuel for whatever it's worth, you have a quarterback in Garrett Nussmeier that's plus 900 on FanDuel to win the Heisman Trophy. Oh, by the way, LSU is plus 1,500 now to win the national title. Are you going to sprinkle any amount of money on those odds for those guys, or for Garrett to do that, and for these guys, meaning LSU, to be able to do that? That is the question. I might sprinkle it if they keep putting some more days like this together offensively. So we will get into all of that. And the only thing that I am going to say today that's not LSU really related on this show here tonight is simple. The AP poll came out today, and, well, of course, it went full AP poll. I remember last year making a joke with Josh Pate, and he and I having a conversation, and he had said something that I thought was funny. The AP poll, sponsored by drug use. The AP poll is one of the only polls where people actually put in their ranking, and then all of a sudden you get to see what they selected and who they selected and where they selected. Some of you need to get your picks up. Some of you local people better give your picks up, because you have – I will challenge of the teams that some of these local guys put in the top 10. I will challenge each one of them to give me 5 names on those rosters. 5. They'll be able to do it for Texas. They sure as hell will be able to do it for LSU. I guarantee you, they can't give me a complete of 5 for Alabama, Georgia, maybe Georgia. They can't give me 5 for probably Penn State. They'd probably say, oh, well, for Penn State, they got that wide receiver from Syracuse. Yeah, his name's Trevor Pena. What in the hell has Georgia Tech done to anybody, by the way? Putting Iowa State above Georgia Tech? I'm not there. And listen, Georgia Tech could easily go in to Colorado in week 1 and lose against Deion and company. But, man, the AP poll, sponsored by drug use. All right. Nevertheless, we're live. Everyone do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. Penn State at 2 in the AP poll was laughable. Cajun, I don't think it's laughable. I don't think it's laughable at all. They returned 4 of their 5 offensive linemen. They ran the ball for 200 yards per game. They have Trevor Pena from Syracuse, who went over 1,100 yards and double-digit touchdowns a season ago. By the way, 2 games he went against first-round corners and had 110 yards plus and touchdowns. Maybe you're not big on all-our, but they return a lot of their safety room returns. Their 3 defensive linemen return. I mean, Abdul Carter's not there. Pair of linebackers return. I mean, they got a lot of pieces that do return. I'm not sure if I'm there with you. I know you probably give the James Franklin angle, and that's fair. That is very fair. D. Payne on YouTube says perfection. That's what Herman Boone said. I mean, guys were jumping off sides today, and BK was not having any of it. I think based off of what happened, and a lot of you did watch the Saturday practice report. In all of that, the drops, the false starts, the just pure on sloppiness of what LSU looked offensively on Saturday. Thought they looked a lot better today. But the outright sloppiness, BK wouldn't having none of it. Jump off sides, run, drop, run. I mean, unless it was like very competitive and no, but make a mental mistake and see what's going to happen. He ain't playing. He's not playing. And I think he feels the pressure. And look, you have a top 5 team. I think the AP poll has them at 4. You're going up against the number 4 team in the country per a lot of people. Right, wrong, or indifferent in week 1. You better get rid of it. You better get with it. Taki says, afternoon, Blake, 318, repping. I'm so pumped for the week. Yeah, I am too. Guys, y'all do realize a week from today, like week 0's here. A week from today, we will go through a week and college football starts because week 0's here. So, I mean, I know from our national show, we're breaking down week 0 games. What about you? That will be the ultimate question. Are you ready for some football? Because I know that I am. Iowa State was 11-3 last year. They lost 2 receivers, 2 of their top receivers. They're not. All right. You better go check on Georgia Tech. That's all I'm going to tell you. All right. We'll see Iowa State week 1. D. Smith with a $2 super chat says, Haven update. What are you hearing? So we got 10 minutes into the show, and we already have our first Haven super chat. All right, let's get to that, and then we'll get rolling here. So in case you missed it, there was a projection today on On3 or Rivals. I don't know what they're calling themselves. For Elijah Haven, the number 1 player in the country, to go to Florida. This is a 2027 kid. I think that Elijah Haven is very talented. I would say this. Regardless of NIL, regardless of any of it, it was, of my opinion, I think he's the most talented quarterback in the state, and you needed to go get him. I don't know if LSU went all in like Florida did here. What I would say is you better get Pop Houston then. I know that Nussmeier, the younger brother of Garrett, was also projected by them today to go to LSU. I think that there's a stark difference between Elijah Haven and Nussmeier, but personally. I do not believe that this comes down to money. I do not believe that this really comes down to a lot of things other than who do they want. And I will tell you this, the perception of this is going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. If Elijah Haven goes out this year and proves that he's the number 1 player in the 2027 class, maybe you're wrong. Maybe you're wrong. Can you get Pop to not commit to USC? Did Pop think that that there was a situation where that Elijah Haven was ultimately going to LSU? But you have Nussmeier, you have Pop, you have Elijah Haven. I think that the 2 quarterbacks at the top deserve to be at the top. This ain't got anything to do about money. And listen, Florida has shown that they will go out there and spend a ridiculous amount of money on a talented quarterback. That's what I think. I don't think you're losing Nussmeier regardless if you get the other. I don't. But that's just me. I know it's going to make some people bad, but this is a 2027 kid, and guys, Bryce Underwood was committed to you until literally a week before signing day. Got a long, long way to go. So don't, God forbid Florida does horrible this year, then he ain't going to Florida. If Billy Napier gets fired, he probably is not going there unless they bring somebody really, really good in. All right, one more before we get rolling here. Ricky on YouTube with a $2 super chat says, I am ready for some LSU football. I know I am as well. It is the 11th, so you're not that far away from LSU TV being on the tube, and you up in Clemson, and you going through an outright dogfight. But we're going to talk about practice here today. Let's get rolling. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Every episode is brought to you by our good friends over at Section 103, where their apparel is more comfortable than those club seats that you're sitting in. Guys, last month to use that promo code AYS at checkout will give you 10% off of your order. Hats, shirts. By the way, I still believe that, and will always believe, that their shirts fit the best. They feel the best. Their hats, I wore one this weekend. They are absolutely perfection. You need to go over to Section 103. Use that promo code AYS to get 10% off of your order today before it is too late. Go click on that LSU section and get what I think is some of the top-line gear for LSU apparel in the business. And our good friends over at Service Talk Digital Marketing, with the right lead, smart systems, and real growth. Get a marketing system that works for you today. Go over to servicetalk.io. Are you an HVAC, electrical pro, generator pro? Do you run a business? Do you own a business? Are you trying to get out in the marketing and get to more people than you currently are right now? Service Talk Digital Media is the place that you need to be. Billboards, Google searches, everything that you need, they will customize for your small business to get the job done at the lowest cost minimal. Go over to servicetalk.io today. That's servicetalk.io. When you fill out the questionnaire, let them know that Blake sent you on by the way. But run a business, in sales, need marketing, you know where to go. Service Talk Digital Media. Let's get ready here. We got lots to discuss. Practice day 6. Day 10. We talk about it next. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man. He's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler. He'll shoot you straight.
Hey, guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick. All right. Couple of super chats in here. that we need to get to before this practice report. JJ Harris with a $2 super chat says, could the QB in 26 that they are after? Could be the quarterback that they are after. Did I miss something, JJ? I'm sure I did. I don't know what I missed. The quarterback for 26 might not be on this roster. Michael Van Buren has put together the last couple of days. Do they go in the portal? Or does Colin Hurley make a move? I don't know if the quarterback that ultimately takes over next year is on this roster ultimately. So in reference to 26, from a recruiting aspect, is something going to happen with Bo Bentley? Are they going after a quarterback in 2026? Faze and Brandon, the 5-star quarterback from Tennessee, a lot's been made in those circles. Do they go after him? I don't know. But if they do, we'll be here to cover it. PGZ15 says, if you had to compare this team going into the season to a previous team, who would it be? LSU team specific. 2022 LSU. 2022. With 2022 with more a quarterback that's more established with the team that he's on than what Jaden was in 2022. For me at the current moment, if you're cutting me open and you're asking me what I've seen ultimately and what my true beliefs are, you come in here, you hit me with true serum and say, Blake, give me your God's honest opinions about LSU. My God's honest opinion is quite frankly, I think defensively, you're just tons better than the last 2 years. I think ultimately at safety, you're much better. I think along the defensive line, you're deeper. Can they stop the run game? Still a big question for me. Are they going to go into these games and get out physical? But one thing that is for certain, A.J. Halsey will come down and knock your block off. I saw safeties run away from contact a year ago. If your offense is as good as some believe, if your team is as good as some believe, then the bottom line remains is I think defensively you've just shown up every day. And listen, today I thought the offense started throwing some punches. Some of them landed. And so we'll talk about that. Harry with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, did any lineman get their cheeks clapped by number 88 again? 88 did have a tackle for loss today. Yes. In observations and opinions, we have a video that was clipped that we're going to bring up. I asked Blake Baker specifically about Bernard Gooden because there's only so many times that this dude's going to go out there and make plays. Go watch it yourself. We'll show it to you here later. Go look at what Blake Baker's reaction when we talked about Bernard Gooden. Kind of lit up a little bit. Yeah, he did, because he's out there kicking ass and taking names. Yeah. He's been whipping some dudes. Does that translate to Clemson? It's one thing to do it against the team that you're on right now. It's another thing to go out there week one and do it against an offensive line unit that's been together for 3 years. Can they do it? Can he do it? Will be the question. But the fact of the matter is right now is Bernard Gooden has definitely whipped up on some dudes, especially in the run game. He's been very quick off the football. So let's get to it. All right. Thank you all for the super chats. Thank you so much. We do have another one here. This will be the last one we get to. We got to get to a practice report. Any other ones that come in, you can ask your questions. Send them in. Ask your questions. But we're going to get to all of these. And then if you send some in, we'll get to them at the end of the show here. Cajun Curveball with a $5 super chat, says, I'm just praying that this O-line can be better than last year. Point of attack has never been truly great under Kelly. Yeah, you've lacked physicality. How about this, Cajun? Stay with us the entire show. We're bringing up this point about the run game and the point of physicality in observations and opinions. It's obvious, honestly, it's the biggest thing that we're talking about in observations and opinions. So we'll get there. Stay with us. We'll hit on the super chat and bring it back up when the time comes. But LSU practice, day 10, we were back out there on this glorious morning and this glorious Monday. Now, LSU was in some spider pads, some shirts, some what did Brian Kelly call them the other way? There's no lot I can determine when the guys are running around in underwear. But it is true. A lot of that again today as they acclimate themselves back into practice again today after going in full pads on Saturday and tackling to the ground. Glad we didn't have any injuries in those situations too. If it's your first time joining us on one of these practice reports, don't go and talk about a lot through the drill work. For the first 30 to 40 minutes of the practice every single day, LSU is inside in the practice facility going through drills. I don't spend much time on this, but guys that stood out to me today in a lot of their drill work. I thought Gabe Relaford looked really good. Harold Perkins looked really good again. Patrick Payton is starting to kind of really come into one. If there is somebody today that I think who had a day on Saturday and continues to keep climbing that ladder, a guy that keeps showing up in situations, Patrick Payton for me is that guy. I think Bernard Gooden, for what it's worth, has had a lot of big days because of the big plays that he's made in the running game. Some of the stuff that he's done in the pass game has been good. He's gotten to the quarterback a couple of times, but really pushing the pocket and getting into the quarterback's face has been another thing that he's done. But, man, I think if Patrick Payton can put it all together, there's a lot of people from Florida State that said his motor got turned off after week 3 and he didn't really care. There have been some things that have lingered around with him that if he put it all together, guys, he could be a top 10 pick. That is not from anything that Blake Ruffino says or has seen in him necessarily. I think everybody quit on Florida State a season ago, and hell, I think a lot of people want to blame him for that. The part that I would make is just there's just been too many situations here of late where I think Patrick Payton has been big. We'll talk about this later in observations and opinions, but in drill work, he continues to stand out because I do think I'm getting a lot of effort from him right now. And over the last week, I felt like, hey, I want to continue to see multiple days of this. I feel like from number 6 on the edge, the Florida State transfer, he's just continued to put some really good days together. So he's the one that stood out for me as well. Caleb Jackson is someone that stood out as well. We have not been able, and I spent a lot of time with the running backs today during drill work, because you have JT Lindsey out, you bring in Juwan Johnson, who was at quarterback, you moved him back to running back. He goes through all the drill work with running backs, and that's where you're going, is you're putting Juwan Johnson back in that room. What we haven't seen a lot of is Caleb Jackson. It is of my humble opinion that Caleb Jackson is going to have a big season. And what I mean by big season, I mean 500 to 600 rushing yards for you to get where you need to go. You got to have a second back that can go in there and late in games, maybe a couple of early situations that you can go underneath center or go in the pistol and let's just go straight dive and let's run it right at him and pop him in the mouth and go get him a first down. Caleb Jackson's not been talked about because every time I feel like I see him get the ball, there's no holes to be hit. There's guys in his face as soon as he takes the handoff. Bernard Gooden has done it at least 3 times in my vision of what I've seen. I spent a lot of time watching the running backs and watching Caleb Jackson. I think we all know what Kane Durham's going to do. But it for me, and again, we've talked about this all off season to some extent. We talked about this, whether it be in the season a season ago. Guys, there were a lot of times last season that you were lined up on 3rd and 1 and you couldn't get a yard. If you want to get where you're going to go, adversity is going to strike. And when that adversity strikes, you can't abandon the running game. And quite honestly, even if you hit the wrong hole, you need to hit it at the highest level possible and go get 3, 4, 5 yards, and let's go live for another down. Guys, the teams that ran the ball the most effectively a season ago, years before that, the year before that, the year before that, they didn't abandon it, and you did. Well, you need a back that can come up and hit the hole, even if somebody is sitting in there, and put his head down and go knock somebody's block off. Because I think a thing for you last season and even to start of camp this season, what we're really saying in all the media, and basically what I've been saying is, hey, man, in the running game, you've lacked some physicality. You're giving it all that you've got. You're going right at them. But, man, you've lacked a little bit of physicality, and that is why the defense has ultimately beat you in the beginning part of this camp. Can you line up? Can you run the ball? you can't run the ball in the red zone, you're not going anywhere. I thought Caleb Jackson had a really good day. I thought he caught the ball well out of the backfield. I thought he hit some right holes today. And yards that didn't go for much, 4 or 5 yards, didn't go for much, a couple of no gains in there. But you have a very talented running back room. And what gets missed is Caden Durham, who we think he is Harlan Berry the 5-star we think he can be? Is Caleb Jackson going to finally put it all together to help you get some running game? By the way, are the guys in front of them are going to block well enough for them to make those plays is a big question mark too. Spent a lot of time with the running backs and Frank Wilson today. That's the biggest area of improvement. There was no area on LSU's team a year ago that was worse than the running game. Didn't exist. But one thing that we need to see early and continue to get better is that running game. I will tell you, I don't think it has yet. It hasn't. You haven't been able to just line up and run the football. Will that be something that I thought Caleb Jackson looked good and had a really good day? All right. So LSU started off the day, offense going against the defense in ones versus ones. A lot of goal line work happened today. A lot of red zone work happened today. LSU would open the day up offensively versus offense versus the defense in one-on-ones from the 15-yard line, which very much curtails and goes for the offense. That's 1 versus 1. If you can't complete some stuff here, it's going to go really bad. The offense came out swinging from the wide receiver room. On Saturday, we had a long discussion of, man, drops on Saturday were abysmal. And the conversation that you and I had was simple. If this is something that continues in a long stretch, in a long form, then fine. You and I are going to have more of a discussion on it. But one day is one day. And quite honestly, I thought the offense, who was a lot more refreshed and really looked like that they got some more energy underneath them, took a next step. They started off the day with a fade route to Xavier Thomas on Ashton Stamps for a touchdown. The second play is a fade route to Bauer Sharp and a one-hand on Jordan Gilbert for a touchdown. Watkins runs an inside from a slot, runs a fade on Deshaun Spears for a touchdown. Nick Anderson does run an out route, and it does fall incomplete, but the ball is out of bounds, and the ball's not even in play, and he can't make a play on it. Teron Francis, he runs a fade over Michael Turner, right, perfect throw by Michael Van Buren as the twos come in for a touchdown. Francis runs a fade route, touchdown over Michael Turner. Hilton comes in and runs a quick slant, then comes right back, completed. Ashton Sampson on the coverage. Then Hilton runs a fade, and Ashton Sampson says, I've had enough, and he breaks the ball away. Trades Green on Harold Perkins on an inside slot fade. Touchdown, one-handed, and it looked beautiful. Looked very, very beautiful. From the inside, I thought that Trades kind of cut it inside a little bit too much. Nevertheless, Harold Perkins and Trades Green go after it. Trades Green makes a phenomenal catch. You got Destin Hill on a fade route that's missed by Nuss that falls out of bounds. Phillip Wright on the outside runs a fade route, and Javian Toviano is holding him, and he falls down, and it's a PI. Trades Green on an in route or a slant route. Touchdown on A.J. Halsey. And then Xavier Thomas on an out route on Mansour Delane in the back of the end zone on the back pylon goes for 6. They destroyed it in one-on-ones. Now, this drill, this work is easily curtailed to the offense. If you can't make plays here, I don't know where you can make plays. But guys, quite honestly, they have been doing this and doing this drill for quite a while throughout camp. And day 10 is not the first time that this has happened. And quite honestly, the defense has come out in the first 9 days and really locked some shit down. Today, I think after the wide receivers had a really bad day on Saturday, and I think we need to clarify that in a one-game practice size, they had a bad day. They came right back out, and they started throwing punches. Hilton making plays. Or Hilton making a play, but Ashton Sampson making a good play on him. But Barrion Brown making a couple plays. Xavion Thomas making a couple plays. Trades Green finally saying enough is enough, Park. I've had it with you covering my ass. We're going for 6. And by the way, number 14 is a mismatch nightmare. It's a mismatch nightmare. If you were in the practice report on Saturday, you and I had talked about there had not been a situation where Harold Perkins had been on one of these tight ends where these passes were getting completed. That goes for 1-on-1s. That goes for 11-on-11s. That goes for 7-on-7s. Perk was everywhere. We talked about Perk having a PBU in 7-on-7. We talked about him making a play on Bauer Sharp. We talked about him making a play again in 11-on-11 on Trades Green in man-to-man coverage. And today, Trades Green said, enough is enough. I've had it. And guys, they came out swinging. And quite frankly, for me, when you start off a practice after how bad went Saturday, or how Saturday went so badly for you at receiver, I love that they came out here throwing punches. And I got to give Garrett and I got to give Michael Van Buren a lot of credit. They made some elite throws. Some of the throws that Garrett made are what we're going to see him doing on Sunday if he continues to throw the football like this. Because quite honestly, in that situation, I thought it was the most lethal that I saw Nuss in an LSU uniform. Consistently. It's not it's not close. I think that there have been times for Garrett where he has made some unbelievable throws and plays. Like the Malik throw against Georgia, the situations that he's been in last season against Ole Miss. There have been situations where Garrett has made some unreal plays and some unreal throws. Guys, I don't think that from a long standpoint, a very consistent standpoint, that we've seen him just do it over and over and over and over and over again. He came out firing on all cylinders, taking a whole bunch of punches and saying, defense, come take this shit because I'm about to give it to you. And guys, quite honestly, they did. I kept my thoughts to myself. Now, in 7-on-7 and 11-on-11, I thought as the practice went on, there were some throws that Garrett wanted back to Barrion, to Hilton. He figured it out. Because ultimately, when he hit a little bit of a snag, at the end of practice, he found it. Tutty. Ball game. Literally. Nuss look good, man. If you're going to get that consistent amount of throws from him, if they are going to sit in that pocket, and if he is going to get the protection that he needs, with some of the accuracy that he's had in this camp, if that shows up on Saturday, and it shows up Saturday against Clemson, we in a ball game. We got a ball game. Blake, it's fall camp. What are you talking about? Can Garrett come back out there tomorrow, which we will be back out there tomorrow? Can he come back out there tomorrow and do the same damn thing? I don't want to be coming in here and be like, man, we were out there and 4 picks happened. I don't think that's going to happen. That's a whole nother thing. Underthrows, overthrows, making wrong reads. Guys, by this time last year, Nuss had thrown probably like 8 to 10 picks. Not exaggerating. I've seen him throw one, personally. I've seen him throw one. I saw him throw one because Harold Perkins baited his ass. Hadn't been out there for every practice, but he's been highly consistent. Guys, some of the throws, some of these fade route throws are freaking ridiculous. Heisman level throw. Like, perfect placement. All over the place. So, if 13 can continue to do that, he's going to be completely fine. Does he get the protection up front? Can he consistently, through the next couple of weeks, hey, Garrett comes out here and he starts doing some more stuff like that consistently, we're going to have a serious conversation because today was that good of a day. Was very much that good of a day. All right. We would go outside from the indoor facility. LSU would go through walkthrough. Let me stop right here. We left from the inside facility and went outside and both the offense and defense are going through walkthroughs. In the offensive run-through, they're going through the running game. The drill got stopped. I call it drill. The walkthrough got stopped 3 times. A walkthrough. I don't know what Joe Sloan was trying to get to his offensive lineman. I don't know what was happening through the walkthrough. But, guys, he was pissed off that the run game walkthrough wasn't being blocked correctly. They were doing basic inside zone. Basic inside zone. From what I could tell, they were doing basic inside zone. And then they did some screen stuff with the offensive lineman. Guys, I'm going to bring this up later, but we walk outside. Is the problem with your run? Let me ask a serious question. Is the problem with your run game is that you don't know what you need to do on simple run zone plays? Is it as simple as that? I don't know. But I know Zach Nagy and myself, Zach Nagy working for LSU for Sports Illustrated, it was a conversation when we walked back to our vehicles that we had the entire time. Hey man, did you see the period? Like they're not legitimately out there. Like they're not able to go through walkthroughs without there being correction. So I know what I just said, and I see somebody in the chat already calling me pessimistic. Guys, they were getting pissed off because they couldn't execute inside zone. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and I will stand corrected if I am wrong. But from my vantage point, they were getting their asses chewed because they couldn't execute it. So it's the first thing that we saw when we walked outside. And it's something I made a note on. Is that what's happening here in the run game? That just assignments are getting blown? I don't know. But to be real with you, it was a little alarming. So LSU and offensively and defensively would go through some walkthroughs. Then they'd come together and go in 11-on-11, a 2-minute drill to start it off. Trey'Daz Green on an out route on Wes Weeks. Beautiful throw by Garrett Nussmeier. Beautiful. For 14 yards. Put it where nobody else besides Trey'Daz Green could get it. Along the sideline. Nuss set back in that pocket, had some pressure in from the interior, and rifled that hoe. He had a good day, man. He had a really, really good day. Really, really good throw to straw off a 2-minute drive in 11-on-11 that goes for 14. Caden Durham on the inside zone goes for no gain. Bernard Gooden burst through the line. It looked like it was for no gain. They didn't move it back as a tackle for loss. I would have given it to him, but they didn't move the sticks. So Bernard Gooden breaks through the line of scrimmage. Caden Durham on an inside zone run can go nowhere. Very next play, Garrett Nussmeier sees a hole up the middle and scrambles for 11 for a first down. Yes, you heard that right. His ACL stayed intact while he scrambled for a first down. Wasn't touched. I think the thing that we've seen from Garrett in camp that we haven't seen from him, quite honestly, when he's gotten some pressure, there have just been times where he stepped up in that pocket and taken off. Guys, I am telling you, did not exist. There was not a time the last 3 years when we would go out there and Garrett be in a situation where he needs to step up in the pocket and run, that he would do it. Guys, he didn't do it during practice. This year, he don't give a damn. If you're going to bail out on him, he's going to step up in that pocket and he's going to go. He picks up another first down. Beautiful, beautiful stuff by Garrett there. A screen to Destin Hill goes for 4. Almost got picked off by Mansour Delane. That would have been the third pick that Mansour Delane's gotten in 2 days, but nevertheless, almost picked off on the screen. Caleb Jackson on a rollout right in the flat goes for 4. Harold Perkins on the stop and gets Caleb Jackson out of bounds. Parker on a hitch route. Woodland almost had a PBU, but the ball goes out of bounds. Really bad throw, but excellent coverage by P.J. Woodland. P.J. Woodland might play. P.J. Woodland might play. Jakeem Jackson, as we went outside, by the way, the transfer from Florida, was on the bike the whole time. Was walking around running and doing some stuff. Just looked like maybe he got a little nicked up, but P.J. Woodland continued to get in there. Xavion Thomas on an out route on Ashton Stamps, and then they got to the 15-yard line, and Caleb Jackson gets tackled for a loss by Bernard Gooden for -3. Guys, again, God forbid we play a defensive tackle that's got serious quickness, because Bernard Gooden is eating this interior alive, quite honestly. It's why I asked Blake Baker about it. Hey, man, what's up with Bernard Gooden? I tried to force him to give me something more than maybe what he did, but because Bernard Gooden, in 2 of the 3 run plays that this team had, broke through the line of scrimmage and made a tackle for no gain and then a tackle for loss. So he's done it with pads on. He's done it without pads on. 88 just continues to make plays. And again, a situation where Caleb Jackson's in at running back and he's taking a handoff and 88 is there to greet him. I mean, it just every single time. All right, the first 11 on 11, outside of the second team's first 11 on 11, the defense won every rep. I mean, the ball did not get moved. Michael Van Buren also had a really nice run later. He also had a really nice run in this 11 on 11. Just defense won every rep. And they couldn't run the ball. There were some passes that were incomplete. There was a drop. It's a really, really tough catch to Jelani Watkins over the middle on the post. They just won every rep. And the second unit could not get anything going. So there's that. LSU would go to special teams. Just throwing out some quick things that we saw. They've gone a 3 up-back system. So more rugby style of punting here. But the up-backs, the guys that are the protectors, you had in there. You had Sharp, you had Pyburn, and you had Bo Bordelon. So really interesting, those 3 guys with the first unit on punt. I will say this. I didn't put this in the practice report, but Jeff Martin was out there, and I passed by as they were doing some punts, and I was like, damn, that's a good punt, and we both agreed. Chadwick had a 52-yard punt, a 48-yard punt, and a 51-yard punt today, all of them being downed inside or around the 10-yard line. We don't talk about special teams much. He's had some really good kicks. Aaron Burrell has been the second-team punter. Aaron Burrell has had some massive kicks too. Punts too. He did line up for a 59-yard field goal today, did Burrell, and missed, came up short. Guys, it's a long distance. He's had some punts in this camp that I think, God forbid something happened to Chadwick. I think Ahmad Anan has done a very, very, very good job with special teams and trying to get this team prepared special teams-wise. I don't know if special teams-wise they're going to be good because I hadn't seen enough. I personally feel that they're going to be a lot more prepared this year. I don't know. I hope BK allows him to do this, but I hope they go try to block a punt this year if they can get a 3-and-out and stop a team or 2. The intensity on special teams is light years ahead. The intensity doesn't even compare. Ahmad Anan is going over there like a crazy man. They've looked good. It actually looks like a college team running special teams, to be real with you. I don't feel like we've had that the last couple of seasons, and I think he's done a very, very good job. But the upbacks being Sharp, Bordelon, and Pyburn. Returning punts, the guys that you would expect. Aaron Anderson, who was back out there, didn't run a lot with the first team, ran with his second team today. they're keeping him in bubble wrap again. I mean, he is out there running. He is out there making some plays, but they're protecting number one. Barrion Brown, who is one of the most dangerous human beings, Xavier Thomas, Aaron Anderson, Kyle Parker, all were back there fielding punts. Phillip Wright was also back there. I thought Phillip made a couple of really decent cuts, by the way. Maybe could have broke one. But nevertheless, those are the guys that we saw in fielding punts. They did go to the opposite field, the punt return team, outside of the guys fielding the punt, and on the other field, it did look like that they were practicing getting after and blocking the punt. They had some serious speed on the field. I'll just leave it here. They had some serious speed on the field when they were trying to block the punt. Harold Perkins might get him one. He might get him one. We'll see. But I've never seen LSU work on a punt block, ever. Ever. Not that I can remember. Like they're sitting there and they make everything really, big. They're not even letting the first team punter out there to kick it to them. They're going after punts. See if they do it. I hope that they do, because special teams, guys, can you imagine going into Clemson, you defer or you lose the coin toss and Clemson, God forbid you hold them to maybe they get a couple of first downs and then you force them to punt. Could you imagine blocking a punt in the opening quarter? Could you imagine? God forbid you block it and all the momentum going to you. God bless it. Let's see if they actually do it. All right, 7-on-7 time. So LSU would start around the 25-yard line in 7-on-7. They would move up to the red zone. I put goal line, but they would move up 5-yard increments in 7-on-7 here. So let's run through some of these. Trey Green in the flat goes for 4 yards. Harold Perkins in on the stop. Really, really good play by Harold Perkins to gain the ground that he did. Perk bailed out. Here's something interesting. Perk completely bailed out of his star roll and then bluffed Garrett to throw to Trey then opened his hips, got back, made the tackle, and made the play. So really good play by Perk, I thought, there too. Xavier Thomas, fade route, touchdown on Ashton Stamps. I thought Stamps had a really good practice until today. Xavier Thomas, man, is just not going away at receiver. LSU has gone out and got Nick Anderson. They've gone out and got Barrion Brown. They return Aaron Anderson. They return Chris Hilton. And for the life of me, number 0 is just not going away. You bring in a lot of talent, but I continue to see 0, whether it be Saturday where he had some drops, but he had some big plays. And last week I thought really, in all of these practice reports that we had talked about, Xavier had been making plays, kind of some bigger ones too. Today in 7-on-7, he runs a fade route right on Ashton Stamps. Beautifully placed ball by Garrett Nussmeier, where only Xavier can catch it, and he goes for 6. 0's going to play. I don't know how much, and I don't know what they're going to do with him early. I don't know if he's in that rotation deep like that. Pause. I don't know if he's in that rotation like that for a long period of time as the season goes on. I just feel like 0's going to get some reps here. I feel like he's going to get some reps. Aaron Anderson's not out there, but they put him out wide. They put him on the boundary and said, Ashton, go stop it. And quite honestly, Xavier's making the play. Can he continue to do that? But a fade route that goes for 6, really, really good throw by Garrett Nussmeier too. Broken play, so I don't really know what happened. It's really good coverage, but a broken play. Nussmeier rolls right, tries to signal for Nick Anderson to come back to the ball. He doesn't. Garrett ultimately tries to make a throw to him, but just forces it out of bounds and a throwaway. All right, they go up to about the 12 to 10-yard line and 7-on-7 and go for goal line. Try to get some stuff here at the goal line from 7-on-7. A broken play again. Really, really, really good coverage. Barrion Brown finds a seam, sits in that seam in the middle of the field. Garrett moves a little bit left, finds Barrion, and then throws a strike in the middle of the end zone, and no one is around Barrion Brown. He goes for 7. I thought Garrett was going to completely bail out of the pocket and try to make a play. but the play is broken, and it looked as if that Barryon Brown found just a soft spot in the zone. He went to that soft spot in the zone. He sat in the end zone. Garrett sees it, stops. I'm talking about rifled it right at Barryon's chest, and it goes for 6. Again, man, just a really fucking good play by Garrett. I don't give two Rudy Poos that it is a situation where that it's just 7-on-7. The maturity level to see your wide receiver sit in that soft zone. All right, I'm going to move. Get everybody to move a little bit. Set your feet, throw your hips. Rifled it right at 6. Tutty. It was nice, man. It was a really nice play by Garrett. So a couple of these, man, a couple of broken plays, throw it away, get the ball out, then make a really good play to Barryon Brown. I feel as if this play would have happened a season ago for Garrett, he would have forced it into tight coverage while sitting in that pocket. He didn't do that today. Really, really, really good play by Barryon Brown to sit in that zone. Had the experience enough, hey, man, I'm just going to sit here if they're going to move and hope Garrett finds me. And he did. And it goes for 6. Really, really good play. Fade route to Trey'Dez Green, or inside seam route to Trey'Dez Green. What they've done with Trey'Dez a lot here in the red zone is giving him a choice route, I feel like, because they have lined him up in the slot right there on the hash. And it's always been to the left, it feels like, unless they put him on the far boundary to the right. There have been a lot of situations where he in the red zone has been in that slot, a big slot play. I feel as if that he's running a choice route. Personally, I have no idea if it is. I'm speculating here. I feel like that they've just done so much with him. If he gets man, he's going to run one thing. If he gets zone, he's just going to run something else. Trey'Dez Green runs right down the seam on Harold Perkins and man-on-man coverage, and I thought it was really good, coverage by Perk on a 6'7" tight end, and Trey'Dez makes an absolutely unreal play on Harold Perkins, coming down with it one hand, securing it with the second one, rolling into the end zone, bang, tutty. Offense made a day, man. They made a day of it. The early part of this was won by the offense. I mean, a really, really overall good day. Trey'Dez Green is a freak, and quite honestly, is a mismatch nightmare for guys like Harold Perkins or anybody in the country. Because Garrett's throwing it up to him and basically saying, F it, 14's down there somewhere. You're going to out-leap him. You're going to out-physical him. And guys, I understand you hear, well, Blake, it's on Perkins. I don't give a shit who it's on. Because I saw him do it against Ole Miss. I saw him make some stupid stuff against Alabama. And if the ball's thrown right, last season, it's going for 6. Really good freaking play by Trey'Dez Green. So really starting to open it up here. I think Whitweeks had enough after this, though. Juwan Johnson on a little in route from the running back position. Ball is checked down by Garrett Nussmeier, caught and then punched out by Whitweeks. Really, really good play. Whit made some really good plays today. Sharp on an out route for 4, tackled by Halsey, downed at the 2-yard line. So want to bring that up. Back to the 15-yard line. Barryon Brown on a fade is overthrown out of bounds. Felt like Garrett was getting a little exhausted here, to be honest with you. I mean, guys, it didn't remotely come close. But Garrett had made some really good throws before that. Juwan Johnson into the flat for no gain. Whitweeks on the stop. They rotated a lot of linebackers out there. Wes Weeks came out a couple of times. Devon Keys and Jaden Breaker came in some other situations. Tyus Singleton got some reps in 7-on-7. We'll see what happens there. The second unit in 7-on-7, we only brought up the 3 big plays. There were 7. A couple of checkdowns to Harlan Berry that didn't really mean anything. But Xavier Thomas on a deep drag diving catch over the middle. Really, really good throw by Michael Van Buren. Watkins, deep drag for 17 yards. Man, he's got some speed out of that slot. You better be careful with number 17. I'm going to find it interesting and see if they give 17 a play or two a game. Tell him to run as fast as he can and see if teams can cover him. Dude's got elite speed, man. 3 straight fades. 1 to Xavion Thomas, 1 to Nick Anderson, and 1 to Belliot, all missed in the back of the end zone. Just overthrown. Not in the field of play. Got to get a little bit more touch and better touch on those, and we'll go from there. All right. LSU would go through some more drill work. They went through a lot of walkthroughs. I would say today was a lot of walkthroughs after going through 7-on-7. More of a lighter day, but they went through a lot of these walkthroughs. LSU then would go back to 11-on-11 and go to the goal line. Fade route on the far right boundary to Trades Green. The fade is thrown out of bounds, nowhere remotely close to inside the field of play. The very next play, they try to run a fade route to Hilton that is underthrown and almost picked by Mansour Delane. I think Chris has got to make a better play on the ball in the air that was underthrown. I think he made a good enough play that Mansour Delane didn't intercept it. It came very close. So went to the goal line, tried to throw a couple of fade routes, didn't work. It is what it is. You did some good things in 7-on-7. LSU would move back to the 25-yard line and go into a 2-minute drill with the first team. Parker goes on an inside post for 14 yards and a first down. Very next play, Gabe Relaford off the edge or Peyton. They had 19 inside. I couldn't see who initially tipped it. So either Gabe Relaford or Patrick Peyton tipped the ball at the line of scrimmage on a quick screen to Trades Green. Trades does catch it. How, I don't know, but does catch the pass, and it goes for no gain with Weeks on the tackle. Sharp on a stick route to the right goes for 6. Perkins comes down on the blitz on the very next play. So we got a 14-yard post, a tip pass at the line of scrimmage for no gain, a stick route for 6. So you have 3rd and 4 here. And setting up this play, it was a beautifully executed play by Garrett Nussmeier, to be honest with you. He saw the defense, and in this 2-minute drill, they ran a dummy call. Garrett gets the line of scrimmage. They get the play in. I think it's like NASCAR or something that they're going through. He goes, "Sit hut." Harold Perkins comes down from that star roll and stops because the ball's not snapped. So now Garrett knows where the pressure is coming from. He knows where it's coming from. Very beautiful stuff there from Garrett on the hard count. Very good stuff on getting the check there, knowing what you're going on, and not getting a false start. Guys, on Saturday, you were getting false starts left and right, whether it was Weston Davis, Carius Kern, or some of these receivers or tight ends moving. Later in the day with the twos, there'd be a false start, and Bauer Sharp got out, and Brian Kelly made him run. But on this 3rd down, you have a post, a no gain on the screen, a stick route by Bauer Sharp, and then you have a 3rd down and 4, and you have Garrett here trying to get a little dummy call going to see where the pressure is coming from because they're bringing it. You have Patrick Peyton on one edge. You have Gabe Relaford. You have Jamari Butler and Bernard Gooden. And then you have Perk coming along on the backside of Patrick Peyton. First off, that's a very lethal pass rush. Just going to throw that out there. Perk then Nuss then knew that Perk was coming. Garrett played the defense today on this one. Couple of fade routes, but the pressure when they snap the ball is coming after Garrett. He hits a check down to Caden Durham that goes for 20. He doesn't get touched. They're not going to the ground today. The ball gets placed where you get touched. I'm going to throw the ball right where the blitz is coming because you don't have any defenders there, and I'm going to let Caden Durham skedaddle. I'm going to let him skedaddle, and he did. Beautiful. Just beautiful. It was really good, man. It was really good shit by Garrett. Hey, listen. Come on, Park. Come on. Anything you can do, I can do better. Check down. Here goes Caden Durham. Makes a really good play there. Very next play from the 30-yard line, a fade route on Ashton Stamps from Barryon Brown. I was standing in the end zone at the pylon. It was me, Michael Cobble of WBRC, and on 3, Matthew Broom. Fade route, Stamps beat, 6, gets a foot in, tutty. And the offense goes dumb. For the first day, really, you have seen some real life from this offense. They're not in pads. I get it. Guys, they weren't in pads in day one. They were in pads, and they never got anything going. Really good catch by Barryon Brown, who I think had a really big day. A very, very big day, did Barryon Brown. Really good throw by Garrett. I thought Garrett was on one today for what it's worth. And I thought that the little funny viral clip from Scarborough that went out there today talking about Garrett's balls, mega paws, I think he's right. Guys, I think Garrett had a phenomenal day. Beautiful throw to Barryon Brown on Ashton Stamps. And quite honestly, guys, a better throw beats great coverage. And I think that's what he had. I mean, he fell in the end zone because Ashton Stamps is there trying to get to the ball, and he can't. But this offense, man, they had themselves a day. They had themselves a day. And it gives me a little bit of a glimmer of hope, really. Like, man, you did some good shit today. Can you do it again? Guys, I think tomorrow's practice report is, honestly, for me, for this offense, it's one of the biggest days that we can be out there, to be honest with you. If you go out there today and you start swinging back and you start and this shit starts connecting, all right now. We'll see when we got there. All right, to end practice with the 2s, Bauer Sharp jumps off sides. Brian Kelly gets him out and starts running. Let me back up. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for following along with the practice reports. I did miss something. The entire offense did run down the end zone to congratulate Barryon Brown, along with Cortez Hankton. Brian Kelly lost his shit. He lost his shit. He didn't mind that they were celebrating. He goes, guys, you're not in here for field goal, and we got to go win or extra point, and we got to go win a fucking game. Get down there and get to the field goal. I get what he's being a head coach. But thank you, Brandon. I forgot about that. With the 2s, Michael Van Buren, after the offsides, goes for a 20-yard scramble. A check down to Caleb Jackson. Brown on a fade route, so Barryon would have a really good fade. This time from Michael Van Buren, it's dropped in the end zone. Really far throw. I mean, I got to give Van Buren this. I mean, he rifled one into the end zone that got dropped. In the very last play, they lined up a 59-yard field goal for Aaron Burrell that came up a little bit short. The snap was low. The snap was bad. And I do wonder if Aaron Burrell had a better set of circumstances if he can absolutely tee off on one. So that is your day. This is what we're going to do. That is the end of the practice report. That is the end of day 10. I am going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to recap all of what we saw today in this one practice sample size. Observations and opinions next. We'll get to it. Let me get to a quick break. We'll get to that next. Stay with us. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement, as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority. Hey, Southwest Louisiana, are you ready to gear up for your next outdoor adventure or tackle that next big job on the farm? Then head on over to Henderson Tractors, Boats, and Power Sports. At Henderson and Lake Charles, they've got everything you need under one massive 30,000 square foot indoor showroom. Kubota tractors and mowers to power through the toughest tasks. Polaris off-road bikes and side-by-sides to conquer any trail. And tracker boats with brands like Ranger, Nitro, Sun Tracker, and Regency pontoons for a day out on the water. Whether you're a farmer or a hunter or just someone who loves the great outdoors, Henderson has what you need to get the job done and have fun while doing it. Browse their new and used inventory over at their website, hendersonimplement.com. That's hendersonimplement.com. Or give them a call today at 337-436-4366. That's 337-436-4366. Or go see them over in Lake Charles on the corner of East McNee Street and Highway 14. Remember, if you need a tractor, go to Henderson. Need a boat, go to Henderson. Or if you need an ATV or side-by-side, you know where to go. Henderson. Just let them know that your good friend Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you on by. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. We're back. Yes, you can send in super chats, and if you do send them in, we will get to all those questions. But very quickly, let's get to observations and opinions. So day 10 has wrapped up. Some of the biggest things that are standing out to me, not only in practice from today, but practice as a whole. As I've mentioned in all of these, and I will continue to mention in all of these are without a shadow of a doubt, not like I'm not saying, hey, these are the top things that are happening. The first thing that comes to my mind when we need to talk about, these are not in chronological order of how I see them. These are just things that constantly are standing out. And let's get to them. Number one, Bernard Gooden, the defensive tackle from South Florida, continues to stand out to me. Day after day, day after day, day after day. 88 continues to make plays in the running game and doing some really good things in the pass game, pushing the pocket to let these edge guys get around the tackles and get up to the quarterback. Garrett's been under a lot of pressure because, again, today, Bernard Gooden made an impact on two running plays in 11 on 11. Today, LSU defensive coordinator Blake Baker spoke, and I thought that there was only one question that I can ask him. What is going on with Bernard Gooden? This is what he said.
Coach, Bernard Gooden has been flashing a lot, very twitchy, off the ball really fast. What is it for him in the run game specifically with his size, but yet being able to push the pocket in the interior that you've seen and like?
Yeah, I love. That was a great pickup. Bernard Gooden has been a joy in every sense of the word to coach. He is high energy. Y'all probably hear him more than anyone on the field. But in today's game, you even look in the NFL, there's not many, a lot of really, really successful defensive tackles are going to be between 280 and 305 pounds. The thing that he does really well, because he is so twitchy and has such good get-off, his second foot's in the ground before the offensive lineman. So even though he might be giving up 30 pounds, he's able to get leverage and get power, and the offensive lineman doesn't have his second foot in the ground. So, one of the things that we did through the evaluation process, obviously being an undersized guy, is really evaluate him hard against the run, and we really liked what we saw, and we really, really like what we see up to this point. He's done a great job creating havoc and holding point.
So that was the question that I asked LSU defensive coordinator Blake Baker. It just, look, I do not know if Bernard Gooden is going to go into week 1 versus Clemson and start making the same level of plays that he's doing in fall camp. I pray to sweet Bayou Jesus that he goes in there and gets to Kate Klubnik, goes in there and gets after this run game for Clemson, because that means that we're going to have success. The bottom line remains in camp, which is remained to be seen. If he continues to put these days together, if he continues to put everything we've seen and continue to build off of that, because not only do I think he's going to play, he's going to start. I mean, how in the world can this dude be out here making the level of plays that he is, whether it's against your team or not? Now, maybe he doesn't start in the opening part of it. Maybe you want to go to base. Maybe you want to do something else. I don't know. But 88 has been all over the place in the run game defensively. And he has been a massive deal for Blake Baker and company. Now, and asking him, let's talk about what Blake Baker sees. Okay. So what he sees is a guy that's very twitchy. I agree with him. Guys, he's off the ball quicker than anybody. I feel like I'm watching a dude get out of a 40-yard dash stance. He is out of there quickly. He's swimming. He's getting in the backfield, and these guys are not quick enough in the interior to get to him. Are these guys against Clemson quick enough to get to him either? I don't know. I simply don't know. But 88 continues to stand out. Will he do it during the season? Will be the ultimate question. He just keeps making plays. And if a guy just continues to make plays over and over and over again, guys, we might have, at the end of the day, have to have a serious conversation. In reference to his weight, guys, he's probably 6 foot 260. Maybe he's a little bit of a tweener and what you want to do ultimately. But guys, he's just given Chester, he's just given Thompson all that they can handle. All that they can handle. So we'll see. Another thing that stands out, and one thing that just stands out for the day, for me, as we take these things into one practice sample sizes, Barryon Brown had a hell of a day. A hell of a day. Neither corner could stand with him. None of them. The only one that made a play against him was when he was himself when he dropped it, and maybe P.J. Woodland when he had a PBU. Other than that, Barryon Brown had a big day. I do wonder how they're going to utilize Barryon and Chris and Nick and Xavion and Aaron. I don't even think they know, to be real with you. But we have been kind of waiting for one of these transferred receivers to have a massive day, and today it came from Barryon Brown. Him and Garrett had a really good connection. They found each other a couple times, and off to the races we go. But good for Barryon because, guys, speed's going to kill here. It's a team that you've orchestrated, and Barryon Brown had some really good plays. I would say a couple of other guys that stood out to me today was Trey'Dez Green, because Trey'Dez finally made his stamp today. And I think he had some unreal throws that he was able to come down with that were really, really greatly placed by your quarterback. Some fade routes, some stuff in the red zone, some out routes that he was getting to. Got one against West Weeks, got a couple against Perkins, a couple touchdowns against Perkins. Made some really good plays. Can number 14 be the ultimate mismatch on your offense? We talk about Hilton, we talk about Anderson, we talk about Durham, we talk about the offensive line, we talk about all these different things. Guys, you have a physical mismatch when Trey'Dez is out there. He is fast, he is physical, and I think even Blake Baker brought that up today. And when he was asked a question, and he was talking about the linebacker, he goes, man, listen, Trey'Dez Green is a nightmare to cover. I mean, Trey'Dez has given them all that they could handle plus some. And today, he ultimately did. P.J. Woodland. Guys, number 11 is making plays too. Multiple passes broken up, multiple PBUs, multiple times where he's been in lockstep coverage. He's looked really good. With Jakeem Jackson being out today, and even when he was not out and was out there on Saturday, we've seen PJ run with the ones, if you will. Again, I don't know how much play he's going to get here. But, guys, again, In these 11-on-11 situations, when they went to their dime package, dime or nickel or coverage nickel, the four guys that have been at corner have been such that have been rotating in there the most. It has been Delane. It has been Stamps. Jackson has gotten in there some. But when they go to a dime or nickel, Cooley will go to one inside slot corner, and either Stamps or Mansour Delane's going to be at the other. P.J. Woodland and Ashton Stamps, when they go to these different unique things, are on the boundary. Jackson will rotate in there with Woodland because P.J. Woodland keeps making plays. And they went to a coverage nickel today, and in that coverage nickel, P.J. Woodland's playing. I mean, P.J. Woodland's out there, and he's making a couple of really good plays. I think today that those guys stood out the most, and I think that for what it's worth, outside of Trey'Dez Green, I think Barryon's done some things. I mean, he's kind of started to come along, but P.J. Woodland has been very consistent along with Bernard Gooden. Couple other things, last player that we need to talk about before we talk about the running game and what today transpired in the last couple of days. I thought Garrett Nussmeier had his best day. It's so wild that we can be on a Thursday and we can be on a Friday and practice getting canceled and we don't know the status of him, for him to just turn right around and absolutely abuse this secondary, because he did. It's the best day by far that Garrett Nussmeier's had. He's made some really good he made some elite guys. He made number 1 overall pick throws today. Wasn't under a lot of pressure. When he did get under pressure in 11-on-11, guys, he scrambled for 11. Good on him. He wasn't touched, and he made a play. Today was the best day that 13's had. Guys, I think of all the other days that we were out there, maybe there were some couple of throws. But collectively as a day, nothing was better than what we saw from number 13 today. Big thing for me tomorrow. If Garrett puts another day like that together and you got back-to-back days and you start stringing this, maybe somebody should have hit his knee sooner. And don't break it, but guys, he would look really good. I thought from the receiving core to him, guys, they had a really bad day on Saturday. An awful day Saturday. They were worn out. And they look sluggish. And guys, quite honestly, they have looked very clunky the first couple of weeks. Very clunky. I mean, so much so, guys, on Saturday, they had 2 3-and-outs and they were out of there. Today, they go in a 2-minute and they're out there slinging that pill around and you can't stop them. Nah. See you later, ho. We're going out there and throwing punches. And they did. If Garrett puts multiple days like that together, then my God. Patrick Payton, for me. I think Patrick Payton's had a couple of really nice days stringed together. He's had a couple of passes defensed, couldn't get to the quarterback, got his hands up, knocked the ball down. When's the last time we saw defensive ends around here knocking the ball down when they can't get to the quarterback? 6 looks good. And he's done some really good things. Some very, very, very good things. Guys, Patrick Payton, for what it's worth, has the talent to be a top 10 overall pick. We're not talking about him a lot, and maybe we should be. He's making plays, man. And this is 3 days where I got number 6 out there just doing really good things. He's got that caliber of talent. Does he put it all together? If number 6 can put it all together, then man, I think he can have a bigger season than what like Braden Swinson had for you a year ago. Good news is I think Gabe Rutherford and Pyburn and Butler and even Kalaj Cobbins, for what it's worth, is giving him not everything so focused on him. This camp with Bernard Gooden and Don McKinley doing some good things in the interior, you can't really game plan for 6, and you got to go on an island, and he's making them pay. Garrett has had multiple screens that have been batted down because 6 is just making unreal plays. This is the 3rd straight day that I've seen him. I'm like, there goes 6 again. There goes 6, making some plays. Can he consistently put it together will be a big thing here. I think the edge room's been really good. I think they've been phenomenal. They got weapons there, man. They got weapons. I am bullish on that edge room. I really am. Can they play to their potential? Can Kevin Peoples get it out of them? Will be the big thing. Last but not least, let's get to the big chunk of this. We had a super chat in here earlier from Cajun Curveball, and it talked about the run game. I don't need the notes for this one. We need to have a serious conversation. You can't run the ball right now. Guys, we've been out there for 10 days. You've had some explosives. You've had some decent runs. Guys, how many more days do I need to see this thing to get moving? You have a situation in a walkthrough period where your offensive coordinator is going stupid because either you're doing something wrong, the scout team's doing something wrong. I don't know. It looks like you're doing something wrong. Because why is he freaking out? I don't know. They would tell you it was something to do with the scout team. Guys, they're standing there with pads. They're standing there with a pad right there, and you got to walk to the guy. They're doing walkthroughs. Like, if you're not able to correct it there and be good there, you're not going to be good in 11 on 11. Guys, quite honestly, I don't know how good your defensive line is. Maybe Bernard Gooden is really good. Maybe Patrick Payton and Gabe Relaford and Don McKinley and Jacoby and Guillory and Austin Bro and Austin Bro is the guy I went to college with. Ahmad Bro and or Jamari Butler, Jack Pyburn. Maybe they are that good. Maybe they are. I don't know. But one thing is right now you can't run the ball. And the God's honest truth is that is a massive factor. You were 108th in the country last year in running the football. And a part of me is like, well, Blake, don't go too crazy because last year they were running the ball all over this defense. You got out there to the game was the worst thing that you did all year. Literally what we thought was going to be the biggest strength, literally, not even joking, was the biggest weakness from a season ago. Because right now you cannot run the football. You can't run the football. That has got to get corrected. I don't know. I think that you are getting out physicaled to some degree. I think that maybe it's schematic. I don't know. Because I just don't think that there's a lot of scheme that needs to go into running an inside zone. There's nothing, there is nothing for me that, in my humble opinion of football, that screams schematics when you're going into a pistol and you're running a dive and Bernard Gooden is literally right there as Caleb Jackson takes the handoff. A guy in front of you is flat out beating you. He's flat out beating you. So I would love a day where this offensive line goes out there and just punches somebody in the mouth and you line up and you're running the football and you're really getting after it. Guys, out some of these crazy explosive runs, you've got nothing. So there's a couple of questions that I ask here. Number one, is your front seven going to be that good? I hope that they are, and that's been the struggles as to why that you can't run the ball. Number two, are you just really that bad in the interior of the offensive line and you can't run the football? Is your offensive line going to continue to be a worry for you? Maybe it is. You got a hell of a test week one to test that out. Number three, maybe they do need more time, but again, the counteract to that is there's just not a lot of schematics that go into an inside zone, outside zone. Guys, you're getting beat. Whether you're getting off a block too soon, whether you're just getting flat out beat, or people want to talk about gelling. There is no real gelling in the run game in reference to, hey, center and guard, take the one technique, you're going to go up to the second level. It's pretty basic. Like, it's not, guys, this isn't rocket science. You've got 50-plus starts with 3 guys in your interior of your offensive line. They should know. Well, Willie, they don't know about the guy next to. And, I mean, like, DJ Chester and Braylon Moore have been together for a minute. I mean, they've been together for 6 months. Or 8 months. Something's got to get corrected. I don't want to sound any alarms because, again, you can go out there at Clemson and they line up and they just start smacking them right in the mouth, for all I know. But right now, it just doesn't look good to me. So I thought you had a quarterback and receiving core that really stood up and really did some good things. But Garrett needs your help. Are you going to be able to deliver it for him will be the question. All right. Let's get to a couple. Caden should get 700-800 at least. Well, he was there last year. He needs more. Either Caden Durham, if Caden Durham goes for 800, you need another back to go for 600 or 700 to get where y'all ultimately want to go, which is the playoff. Cheetah on YouTube says, dude, Kern messing up the most. I don't know if that's to me. I mean, I would say that Kern has jumped off sides. He's had some bad days back-to-back where Brian Kelly made him run. He jumped off twice, and Brian Kelly made him run. And look, guys, your offensive line, Paul Mabinga has come in at left guard in some reps, but it hadn't gotten better. Brandon says Sloan did give up on the run game too soon during games last year. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. LSU Monster says, hey, Blake, what's your favorite LSU game ever? That's a good question. Every national title win. That was my favorite games. If it's non-national title, it was in 1997 Florida. It's probably be up there at 1. It's probably the thing that made me love LSU football the most. It got me into LSU football. 2011 Oregon. Was with a lot of friends, and everybody was telling me I was a goofball for thinking they could win a national title legitimately. And then when they won, I was like, suck that tongue. You know? Probably that. Cation Curveball says, how is tackling? Haven't heard much on it. I think AJ Hall, I think it's been fine. I mean, outside of right now, outside of Jordan Gilbert getting stiff-armed down the sideline and Mansour Delane getting stiff-armed down the sideline by Caden Durham, it's been good. It's been fine. Again, does it get into the season? Does it get into the season where you're in a place and point in time where it's not as good against a team like Clemson? Now, here's what I'm going to tell you to the Super Chat. We haven't talked a lot about Clemson on the show yet. We hadn't really broke them down. Guys, you do realize that changes next week. Next week, we talk a lot about Clemson because, guys, you're in week 0. Guys, the season's fucking here. Defensively against Clemson in the passing game, you better tackle and you better rally to the football. Because they're going to run drags, they're going to run sticks, they're going to run fades, they're going to run crossers, they're going to run deep digs. They're going to get the ball out of Klubnik's hands quick, and if you don't tackle in space, you're in deep shit. It's how they came back against Texas. And Texas had one of the best secondaries in the country a year ago. So we'll see. All right. Mike Guidry says, you two abs have gotten so bad. That's not on our end, man. I don't control those. I mean – maybe, Brandon, can we figure this out? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's not all. Guys, Brandon, maybe you can help me out. I don't. Clearly, I don't see it, and I don't go back and watch it. Holden says, has Pyburn been good in pass rush? Yeah, got a couple sacks. Yeah, I mean, he was the one that I thought hit Garrett, and everybody would freak out. He had a spin move on Weston Davis and got to Garrett. Yeah. Yeah. Destroy Carnage says BK understand SEC. He went to SEC championship in first year. Yeah, I think he understands it. Question is that can you run the football? Guys, it is as simple to me. Guys, there's 1,100 of you in here right now. So to all 1,100 of you that are watching us live, it is simple to me. Teams that can go out there and run the football will win a lot of games. If you go from 108 to shit, I'm not asking you to go above 50. Guys, you're getting to 10 wins. You're getting to 10 wins, and you're in the playoff. It's just it's a I don't know. It's a master undertaking. So we'll see. See y'all tomorrow, man. Practice number 11. We'll be there. See y'all tomorrow night. Peace.